Number 20. Saga Frontier 2. Saga Frontier 2 shows that it's never too late to fix things, updating the series' traditional format with a lavish graphical style and 32-bit complexity. Saga Frontier 2 will likely please RPG fans who are able to overlook the first title's looming shadow. Number 19. Guardians Crusade. If you fire up Guardians Crusade expecting an epic confrontation between the forces of good and evil, you will be destined to come away disappointed. Approach the game without preconceptions, and you're likely to be pleasantly surprised. Charming, sweet, and unpretentious, Guardians Crusade never pretends to be anything besides an enjoyable RPG. Number 18. RPG Maker. Having no false expectation as to the limitation of its toolset is an important thing when considering how satisfied you'll be with RPG Maker. Knowing off the bat that your experience with RPG Maker will frequently have your elbow deep in the most hostile of interfaces will most adequately prepare you for the rigors of RPG making. Number 17. The Legend of Dragoon. Perhaps The Legend of Dragoon, being a bit on the rare side, has kept the nostalgia more alive than it otherwise would have been. But in any case, if you're a fan of JRPGs, this is still well worth a play. The story especially does have its high points, though they come nearer to the end of the game than you might hope. Number 16. Legend of Legaia. Despite the flaws that keep Legaia from being the world beater that it could have been, it still remains an engaging RPG for anyone who likes to play RPGs. After having obtained all true characters, you'll find yourself entertained for hours upon hours. Overall, The Legend of Legaia is a worthwhile way to spend your time. Number 15. Wild Arms. Wild Arms is not without its problems. Still, the game's brilliant storyline, amazingly long playtime, and multitude of character options make it very easy to overlook the game's weak points. Every fan of RPG games should at least take a peek at this title. Number 14. Dragon Warrior 7. Dragon Warrior 7 comes from one of the most popular series of video games in Japanese history, and it's a game that knows its target audience well. If you know you're in the market for a very lengthy and ultimately satisfying RPG and can get over the visuals, you owe it to yourself to give Dragon Warrior 7 a try. Number 13. Suikoden 2. Fans of the first Suikoden game will love the sequel. It improves on everything that had made the first game memorable. Suikoden 2 brings nothing new to the genre, but it executes well enough that no one will really care. Number 12. Breath of Fire 4. Breath of Fire 4 is as solid a game as any of its predecessors. Though it doesn't improve upon the standard RPG formula, it is hard to fault in any specific way. Nice presentation, an interesting storyline, satisfying RPG-style gameplay, and above every visuals combined to make it a good game for RPG hardcore fans. Number Suikoden fans. Nice presentation for in super having obtained overall. Number 15, Wild Arms. Wild Arms is not the games with points. Every fan of RPG games should at least take a peek at this title. Number 14, Dragon Warrior 7. Dragon Warrior 7 comes from one of the most popular series of video games in Japanese history, and it's a game that knows its target audience well. If you know you're in the market for a very lengthy and ultimately satisfying RPG and can get over the visuals, you owe it to yourself to give Dragon Warrior 7 a try. Number 13, Suikoden 2. Fans of the first Suikoden game will love the sequel. It improves on everything that had made the first game memorable. Suikoden 2 brings nothing new to the genre, but it executes well enough that no one will really care. Number 12, Breath of Fire 4. Breath of Fire 4 is as solid a game as any of its predecessors. Though it doesn't improve upon the standard RPG formula, it is hard to fall in any specific way. Nice presentation, an interesting storyline, satisfying RPG-style gameplay, and above-average visuals combine to make it a good game for RPG hardcore fans. Number 11, Suikoden. All in all, Suikoden is a fine, albeit short, RPG. Experienced role players should be able to whip through it in no time. Even novices shouldn't encounter too much trouble. It's got an appealing storyline and tons of characters to experiment with. Number 10, Lunar 2 Eternal Blue. Lunar 2 is a true classic, one of the finest RPGs ever produced. The high quality of its character-driven storyline is matched by few games. While this remake on PlayStation provides many enhancements upon the original game itself, such as the epilogue and plethora of anime scenes, it still suffers from some problems. Number 9, Valkyrie Profile. Valkyrie Profile Lenneth is certainly unique in the world of RPGs. The only problem is that it takes a lot of patience and effort to appreciate what the game has to offer. But if you're looking for a different RPG experience and you don't mind a game that takes itself very seriously, you'll get your money's worth from Valkyrie Profile.
Prepare to be cleansed! Divine Assault!
Number 8, Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment has its share of flaws, but if you can manage to get over those flaws, you'll find an RPG that dares to be different, but not at the sake of an interesting story and exciting gameplay. RPG fans looking for something other than standard formula should definitely give Persona 2 a shot. Number 7, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. Lunar's Silver Star Story Complete is a must-buy for fans of the series, as well as an excellent introduction to this landmark RPG series. Lunar may not have modern aesthetics, but its gameplay and story are among the best of any RPG of any era. Number 6, Grandia. Translation aside, Sony has a real winner on its hand, and it probably doesn't even know it. Grandia is every bit as worthwhile as Final Fantasy VIII, just in different ways. While many casual RPG fans may opt for Final Fantasy VIII, Grandia is a fantastic game for anyone looking for a light-hearted, truly satisfying adventure. For 8 in the era. Number 6, Grandia. Translation aside, Sony has a real winner on its hand, it probably doesn't even know it. Grandia is every bit as worthwhile as Final Fantasy VIII, just in different ways. While many casual RPG fans may opt for Final Fantasy VIII, Grandia is a fantastic game for anyone looking for a light-hearted, truly satisfying adventure. Number 5, Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII combines a fantastic story, amazing visuals, and excellent sound with solid RPG gameplay. After a string of visually stunning but uninspired games from Square, many gamers fear that Final Fantasy VIII would be more of the same. Cast all fears aside, this title is one of the greatest games ever to bear the Final Fantasy name. Number 4, Xenogears. Xenogears' reliance on story, subtlety, and mood make it Square's most anime-like RPG, making the game one of its best. In conclusion, Xenogears is an excellent, thought-provoking RPG with enough story and original gameplay to warrant a look, even if the gameplay could use a little graphical polish. Number 3, Chrono Cross. Not to be too cliche, but Chrono Cross is a truly epic role-playing game experience that has cemented its place in the annals of RPG history. It is easily one of the best RPGs available on PlayStation. If you are a fan of role-playing games, then you must play Chrono Cross. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII. The question you must ask yourself is, are you prepared to dedicate a good portion of your time to take part in a powerful story unlike anything you have ever witnessed before? If your answer is yes, and you can approach Final Fantasy VII, and you will find it be among the most incredible games you have ever played. Number 1, Final Fantasy IX. While some say the game is a combination of the previous Final Fantasy games, it is quite distinctive enough to carve out its own image. In short, FF9 is the culmination of Square in the PS1. In conclusion, there is no denying that FF9 is quite possibly the best traditional RPG on the PS1 generation. Play it now.
What is up, friends? It's Simon from pianopig.com, and today I wanted to explain to you what I think is the first bit of theory you should learn when getting into the world of jazz. Don't let the word theory put you off though. It's actually surprisingly simple, and it will answer so many questions you may have had about theory. You'll be able to work out the key of a chord progression, you'll understand what people mean when they say play a 6-2-5-1, you'll be able to come up with your own chord progressions. All these cool and really useful things come from functional harmony. And I'm going to break it down in a way that is really easy to understand. And this lesson you're about to watch is actually from my brand new course.
Да, отлично, не надо просто сюда. Опа. Вот это мне нужно, да. Сам вроде как, да. Вроде говорил. Ну вот видишь даже. О. Наоборот, да наоборот, да наоборот, да
Album technique is an outstanding way of approaching the piano so that you are going to have a tension-free way of playing, so that you are going to avoid or recover from pain and injuries. But my sound is going to get very bad. I don't want to play with that at all. So even though Talmud technique is widely accepted as a way of having a tension-free way of playing, in terms of sound, a lot of people complain that people that use the Talmud approach is always going to have a bad sound. But is that really true? business or about interpretation or about how we
Вся музыка из этого состоит, понимаешь? Да, то есть из набора произведений классических, более-менее известных. Они все-таки не продавались никогда, то есть. Ну да. Не знаю, понимаешь? Да. Чтобы быть в тренде, понимаешь, надо это, да, ну да. Вот смотри, почему ты, ну она про себя, ну это долгий разговор, но вот это есть на самом деле. Наоборот, значит, наоборот, да. Вот нет, это наоборот. Да, да, нормально, так наоборот. Ну вот это и думаю. Ну вот это и думаю. Вот, ну да. Что это такое? Что ты... Боже, спасибо за спорт. Да нет, маршрут. Да, наоборот, такой, да. хочешь сказать, что мужчины не фертильные, да, ну, то есть, в смысле, да, ну, это как бы откровение, ну, в телесном смысле так, да,